Shane is a must.
It's gonna what issue on Monday to Friday, man. I say on the border, but the legend on the Kushari, man. I said, man, they're a party. And the woman, Eugene Fagoya. On 104.1, man. Now the nigga for the labio. We gonna Fagoya, we play. Let the people, yeah, play. Yeah, let it, yeah. Show yourself who play. Bandera play. Mama bandera pas de play. You pas gon play. Just who shall we play? On 104.1. On the nation for the people. Issues of today. Where all our people problems. Cause your problem, I'm a problem. And I just cause our problem. Just got a issue of today. On board that people. Gotta discuss our nation's issue. Our issue. Our issue today. Discuss our issue on Monday to Friday, man. Our issue today. I say on the board that people. Our issue today. We gonna have a gonna we play. Let the people play. And let them Don't you say who play. When did I play? Mama, when did I play? You never gonna play. Just say who shall we play. On 104.1. On the nation for the people. Gotta issues of today. Where all our people problems. Cause your problem, I'm a problem. And I just cause our problem.
And I'm telling you, good evening, Liberia, good evening, Liberians. And it's always good to be here on the radio talking about the issues making news in Liberia. There are a lot of issues making news in Liberia. Some of the issues are good, some of the issues are bad. How can we work to make the good ones to continue to be good in Liberia? How can we work together to make the bad ones to be good in the interests of Liberians? Good evening, Liberia. Good evening, Liberians. Those of you joining us out of Liberia, I want to say hello to you and welcome. This is where we converge to talk about the issues of our country, Liberia. This is where we give you the opportunity so that your voices can be heard on critical national issues. In today's edition, like all other editions, promises to be great. And so we're going to be here all the time to talk about all of the issues in Liberia, all of the things that matter, the things that matter the people of Liberia. Those are the issues that the people want to listen to, the issues in the interest of the Liberian people. Issues of today, right here on Voice of Liberia. And so it's good to be here. My name is Sekou, and I'm Sekou Sharif. Yes, indeed. A very tight team. We're going to be joined by our two co-hosts in the JIFIC, Eugene Facon and Fendela Patrick, will join us shortly here on the program as we talk about two important issues in country. You don't want to miss them. You want to invite someone to also listen along with you. As a matter of fact, we're going to be diving into lots of issues here on the program. Good evening. If you're just joining us from Liberia, I want to say hello and welcome to the program today. Today is Monday, and today happens to be the very first working day in the week. Not too many persons love Monday. There are some others that love Monday. Not two persons, most people, you go over the weekend, you have lots of engagements. Sometimes you've got some other, issues to attend to, and someone is telling you tomorrow is Monday. We need to, move. We need to have to go to work. And so you think about, after, the weekend, all of the involvements, like some other people I know, I had lots of things to do over the weekend. But let me say hello, folks, and welcome to the program Issues of Today, right here on Voice of Liberia. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for always following the radio and also our television. Let me just announce this to you. Today is the very first day of such edition. We're going to start and we're going to continue. We're going to have two of Liberia's best. What we want to say, thank you to. We're gonna have two of our best, Eugene Facon and that of Fendela Patrick's. They will join us, and they are officially part of the Issues of Today team. We're gonna be, jointly presenting the show, and we're gonna be having lots of issues to talk about always on the program. And I want to always invite you and encourage you to invite other people to join us as well, as we're going to be speaking nothing else but truth. This program is not a pro-government program. It is not anti-government program. It is a program intended for the Liberian people to speak nothing else but the truth, what we see, what we know of, what we've investigated, um, lots more issues. And so it's what we're going to be doing on the show from Monday to Friday, like you listen to our theme song. Um, so you need to get ready for us. Be prepared as we're going to be, having lots of discussions on the radio. We're going to be having lots of issues to talk about on the radio, and lots more. We're going to talk about it. And we're also going to give you the opportunity so that you can, speak on some other issues of national concerns when we raise them, and just so that your voices can be heard. It is because of you. Um, this radio has been established so that we can give you the opportunity so that you can speak on issues of national concerns. Use the radio as well. Very shortly, Fendela will join us through the system, and also Eugene will also join us as we kickstart, the official, uh, presentation today. Mind you, like you've been following on social media, you've been following on the radio. We've been announcing that we're gonna have uh, mm, God, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let me do this. Oh, okay, folks. Uh, okay, so um, so we will shortly be joined. Uh, we will shortly be joined by our guys. But there are a lot of things happening in Liberia. Before we go, um, okay, please send it through the email, please. Yeah, it is. So there are a lot of things happening in Liberia, so we need to uh 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 okay, so there are a lot of things happening. Okay, uh, a lot of things happening in Liberia. So we will be talking on two major issues today on the program. Okay, we'll be talking on two major issues today. Today on the program. Um, so you don't want to miss today's edition. This is it. This is You don't want to miss today's edition of the program. Eugene Facon will join us. We're not taking no time now. We need to join our guys. Let's go to Eugene and join Eugene on the program. Then we will have Fendela to joining us shortly on the program. By the way, yes. Okay. So we will shortly join them as we have them, so we can. But there are a lot of things happening in Liberia, folks. You listening to the vice president today. Um, she had a press conference, and this ledger issue is deepening by the day. We've been able to have in our possession issues of today team, a letter from the Minister of Finance to EcoBank, Liberia, and EcoBank responded. We weigh in, our team will weigh in on that issue as well. We'll provide our analysis, our truth thoughts about it. Our two topics today are going to be, one is the memorandum of understanding between the coalition that CDC, Congress of Democratic Change, with that of NPP, National Patriotic Party, with that of LPDP. So we will be having that discussion. And another thing is, there have been this issue about, government employees being underpaid. by the government. And so we will dig deep into that issue here. You don't want to miss this evening edition of Issues of Today. You don't want to miss it because it's going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to be eye opener for those of you. Uh, but there are a lot of things I don't want to talk about them until my colleagues can join us. So we will start the ball rolling. Falcon is already uh, we don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So let's see as we await as we try to let me see if I can squeeze in this, if it's going to be possible for us to squeeze in this to go to our international correspondence. Sorry, folks, we might not end all of our international updates because no time. It is time now for our guys to be with us. So our producers are doing everything. Um, so we might not do all to with our international correspondence. So today the vice president had a press conference, and that press conference, I witnessed the press conference shortly, and I noticed that the minister of finance was in a press conference, I think, with some other folks, with some other folks. Mm, uh, with some other folks. Okay, so yes, go ahead now. The guys are yes, we ready. So our guy has joined us, Vendela. I think let me say Vendela, you getting us? What's up, brother?
Well, I'm doing good. It's good to be back, and I see that your studio is really really good. I can see, yeah, that things are okay. But it's a pleasure to be on your platform. To the listening public, those who are listening to the sound of our voices, we want to say it's a pleasure being here, and we say welcome to this first edition. Respect to our presentation. And so, Sekou, thank you very much for joining me.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's join Eugene as well. Eugene, how you doing, my brother?
I'm hanging in there. I can't complain. I don't know if you can hear me well.
You are very loud and clear here in studio and also on the radio. You come in very good, and also Fendela came in very good. How you doing, Eugene?
My brother, we're here. We can't complain. We're not like Vendela then who they eating pizza now. So on this side, I think when you look at pizza and burger, and you want to choose between the two, then both are suffering.
I know, right?
Right.
You can't say that, brother. Everywhere we go, you have to do terrain management. I check where they have the African stores. I make sure I know the route very well. So while you are eating your pizza, brother,
I just finished with Tobasoye. I think why you talking plenty like that.
But it's good to have you guys, man. It's good. Let me just announce this. We have of us now, for those of you watching the television, we have Honorable Eugene L. Facon. This name is not, a strange name to this country. We also have Fendela Patrick. Is also not a strange name to Liberia. And my name is Sekou Sharif. Just to officially announce to you today, the three of us are going to be official presenters of Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia. When we did a post, I will allow my colleagues to come in, and you will get to understand how unique this program is going to be, because this is where we're going to express ourselves, professionally. This is where we're going to disagree to agree. We're going to provide, our analysis. When we're having our backdoor discussion, I can remember Fendela raised the issue, where people went on his post, said, I hope you won't be pro-government. They themselves will speak for themselves on the standard we've built in terms of us having this, discussion. But it has been very tough behind the scene to have three of us to agree on this thing because we've had our own different thoughts, and people have their own characters to protect, and no one wants to come and do thing where people will say. So we will allow every one of us to give our own, statements in terms of our thoughts of coming on this show and how we intend to present this show. As today is the first day, we need to make these kinds of clarifications so that those of the people listening will know exactly what we intend to do on this radio. Before I can turn over to Eugene, then over to Fendela, let me say this. Voice of Liberia, we live on the radio and the television, is a privately owned radio station without any support from opposition, from government, neither to say anyone have got, contribution into this radio station. This radio station is owned by Sekou Sharif, a private citizen. This show is not a pro-government show. This show is not an anti-government show where we come to bring the government down. No. We've not come to do all these things, but what we've come to do is to speak nothing else but the truth, to educate the Liberian people, to let them know what they are not aware of. And so I'm saying it, I'm going to turn over to Eugene and turn over to Fendela so you guys can understand what we intend to do here. Some of the things we will say here, you might not like it, but we are not here to satisfy you as an individual, but we are looking at the bigger picture of our country, Liberia. So Fendela, it's up to you. Then we go to Eugene.
Well, let me use this platform to congratulate you for this great initiative. And Mr. Eugene Facon, someone that I have always disagreed with, even though he's my big brother. But I think the most difficult part is to sit on the same platform with people you disagree with, to champion the cause of Liberia and Liberians. As Sekou said, this is an independent thought, and we'll be very critical. As you said, this is not a pro-government show. Of course, that will not work under my watch. Mm-hmm. And it's not also going to be a pro-opposition show. Of course, it's not also going to work. However, independent expressions on this platform should not be construed as people against the government or people against the opposition or people for the opposition or people for the government. For me, I have always stood on the foundation of integrity, and I always speak based on conviction. No one will tell me what to say. I hate that. Mm-hmm. I speak as an individual, as an adult, and I understand the politics of today. So coming on this platform is to present a new personality of individuals or institutions that articulate the views for the sole purpose of repositioning Liberia as a development partner in the developing world, and to recollect from some of the mistakes we have made in the past and project a new direction for Liberia. We will rebuke, we will not use undigested words. And anyone coming on this platform to abuse this platform based on what you have known to be doing in different areas, we have set standards. You will never run away from the battle of ideas. You speak to the issues and leave the personality out. There will come a time we will roast each other.
Yeah.
And I want to challenge all of us that these roastings should in no way bring hatred among ourselves. We have to watch our daily clothes here so that the public will understand that we mean business. We come here for the sole purpose of just, uniting to deliberate on national issues. So I'm happy that we are making these clarities, and I hope this will always be reflected, because tomorrow when we go outside of this boundary, I'm sure somebody is going to play this to remind us about the statements that we made from the beginning of the show. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to Eugene Facon.
Well, thank you, Sekou, and thank you, Vendela. I am not a stranger to the microphone. I was given a piece of job to do as Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. I got in trouble many times for speaking the truth. And many persons in radio land will bear witness to the fact that the truth has always been the truth, and I've always been on the side of the truth. It's true, I am a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change, but that does not negate the fact that I am a nationalist and a Liberian citizen. Let me be clear, I don't come on this platform as a sedition. As far as I'm concerned, His Excellency President George, we are paid, incorporated in his government, a press secretary, a deputy press secretary, a minister of information, a preferred deputy to me. So I don't expect anybody to think I will come and do their job and they will get paid for it. I am here directly to work for the Liberian people. As far as I'm concerned, they hire me. So I'm going to call black, black, white, white. If anyone, I'm sounding this caveat right now, this warning. If anyone thinks that because Eugene Fagon has been a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change and will come to say things in their favor, you're right to think so. But I'm hoping that you will watch and listen to what I have to say. There are people paid to do that for the government and for the party. So with that said, my records are clear. I said if anyone thinks that President Weah will win election without working for it, front page Africa carrier on the front page, everybody thought I should have been fired. I said if people come out, I too will come out with my people. I got suspended for it because I was fed up. I said that we were dying because the new variant seemed to suggest that it was the Delta variant after we had done so well. People doubted what had happened, and Columbia University came back and said, you fire him for nothing. He was right. I told them that people were coming through the airport unchecked. It was checked. The deputy airport director was suspended. I was right. I told them that because they were not doing testing, we could not come to terms with the number of persons that were dying as a result of the deadly virus. They said, why am I in government and talking too much? I was right. I told them that AstraZeneca was banned from the United States and that we needed to take a second look at it. They say you can't be a minister and we're telling the people to take the vaccine and you're telling them we must examine the vaccine. So imagine being a minister and being feisty and objective and truthful, and you get fired. Now you're a free man sitting with Vendela on the platform. You're free to say what you want to say. Nobody can fire you now. Nobody can do anything. But Vendela say he always disagree with me. Ask him whether it's on the basis of politics or because I hate brother-in-law. Because people who not understand the confusion in the family, you say, go by there. I say, no, I can't go by there. He can't already tell the people, say, that man, I can't agree with him. Well, we face it, a family matter. I'm your brother-in-law. But we're on the radio now to talk politics. So that either. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So it's good that you've heard every one of us, like we said. So we are here to do the Liberian people job. We not need to clarify much more than what we've done. What we're gonna do on this show, you yourself will be the judge, and you can continue with it. But gentlemen, we have two issues to talk about, but I think maybe we're going to take like 10 minutes to do housekeeping, training issues happening. We want to just chip in about them. Today the vice president had a press conference. Are you guys aware that the CDC is having convention secretly?
Well, I think, let me just be very clear. I don't want to beat around the bush with respect to what I see happening. The CDC, that is known primarily for mobilizing grassroots and engaging active participants in the political process, I will first, in fact, I had a problem with the location. You already have the seat of the government in Monrovia. When you talk about decentralization, during national conventions, it is, morally acceptable and politically necessary to select one of these 15 political subdivisions of our country so as to take the government to the people. Because you have been in power for almost 5 years. While it's true that having a convention in Monserrate is good, but I think for the purpose of political unification, because the CDC has been disorganized for the past 2-3 years, there have been political, movers and shakers. There have been deflections. There have also been people perceiving the CDC as an institution that is not in the interest of the Liberian people. And this will have been an opportunity to take the government to the people. Because Monrovia is not Liberia. If you select one of those political institutions, some political institutions, to take them there, where you have your national convention and publicity is out, I think it would have been better. The secrecy of this convention, perhaps, I think the publicity committee might not have worked very hard. And I hope they clarify, because I saw a statement yesterday that they arrived yesterday. I think they started arriving in Monserrate County, and they are going to elect the National Executive Committee.
I think it was today. It was today, because the thing started. I think, let me say thank you, Eugene, for that all important information. It was today they came up with a release, but then this is the document. They said November 20th, 2022, Congress time. So it means
Vendela is right. Vendela is right. They issued a statement on the 20th. And the arrival of delegates is also on the 20th. How is that possible?
Something should be featured among the whole thing. Is it something maybe, gentlemen, you guys, is it something maybe CDC is doing that she doesn't want people to understand, or maybe some other, political party or something that is not right about their activities?
I think from what I see, what I have been saying, I think it does not open to a free and transparent process. It has a political undertone by few individuals who might want to remain quiet or under the radar to advance their political agenda within the CDC. Because mind you, when you create publicity, I don't understand. You are going to election. We already know that during elections, the holding of convention, it is an extended campaign message, strategically. But you are holding a convention in secrecy. You are holding a convention, especially in Monserrate, where you have all these media institutions. But now, it should have been in the newspapers, on the radios, because we are looking at the CDC of yesterday. When CDC is even having a Zoom meeting, people will be on the radio articulating the views. Who was George Weah? This is what the CDC stands for. This is what the CDC will do. Then you talk about national convention. when National Executive Committee members are going to be elected, it appears as if the CDC that had that loud voice no longer exists. Is the CDC losing momentum? I can clearly state to you that the CDC has lost relevance. It is contingent of what you are seeing today. The CDC has now recalibrated because we are looking at your formation. It is politically inclined to say the CDC has defeated the purpose of its own existence. We saw in 2005, 2011, 2020, 2022, when you are going for convention, you see the momentum. People are engaged in the media, especially next year is election, and you are about to put your broken pieces together, and you are having a convention in secrecy. You announce that today you will be holding a convention, and the people arrive today. Something is fundamentally wrong within the CDC. I don't want to preempt, but
I heard something from a reliable source.
From a political standpoint, I think this is not right. And I can clearly tell you that if the opposition is smart enough, they can begin to read between the lines that the CDC is gradually losing the originality of its voice and its own existence.
Okay, let's go to Fakon. Then we will also post on the on the live television for those of you watching, so you will see the CDC, the Congress timetable, so you will see how it looks like. Fakon, go ahead, please.
Well, Vendela, why you want the CDC people to cry in your knee? They were crying already, but they didn't know who need to cry in. Now they come and say, Vendela say we are imploding on our own weight. Because apparently they're looking for somebody to cry on, if you understand what I mean. To say you the cause, you the one say to the people. Vendela, the truth of the matter is, I'm looking at the CDC that I'm part of. My brother, it is the Coalition for Democratic Change that I am a part of. But the mother party in that coalition, you and I know, they are full of pageantry, gallantry, and extravaganza. They don't do anything small. And you are talking about the Congress for Democratic Change. And you issue a statement which I put in the chat room for you guys. It says November 20th. Arrival of delegates, November 20th. But you know what really got back to me? I started calling higher ups in the party, in the Congress thing. When they're having the convention, I said, look at these people. The convention going on. It's from the 20th to the 26th. Many persons don't know. But Sekou, what shocked me, what I sent in the chat room is as if nobody should come here. Imagine how hard the town is. Looking at the fact that even people have not taken pay to be chairman. They have my phone right here. I put it in the chat room for you to see it. To be chairman, your application fee in US dollar is $2,500. What y'all?
That a massive party.
$2,500 to be chairman of CDC.
It's on the screen. Those of you watching, you will see it.
Go to be women league chairlady, $1,500. To be youth league chairman, look at CDC youth there. Whoever to afford $1,000 before we go all the way down. To even the person who's supposed to pray to God for CDC to win, they're supposed to register with $1,000 US dollars. So if you open a convention on the 20th, on the same 20th, delegates arrive. Who got time to move left or right? When the people in Grand Jida will arrive in Monrovia, when the ones from Lofa will come, my dear brother, in all honesty and fairness, the Congress for Democratic Change not the coalition, is beginning to show signs of crumbling. And when the mother party crumbles, if the pillar or the foundation of the unit cannot stand, your guess is just as good as my own. The unit will crumble.
But what I wanted to, what I wanted to say, you know, when the United Party held its convention in Banga recently, we saw the Facebook pages were flooded, condemning the United Party, that they were very extravagant. That a few years ago they were in power. Why were they charging high fees? Then a ruling party, as you just mentioned, the party of the masses, you're talking about $2,000 when these people have been $2,500 when these people were unemployed for almost 2-3 years, and some of them are still languishing in poverty and desperation. And you come and repeat the mistakes of the opposition that you just rebuked yesterday for being insensitive to the plight of the people, that they were charging high amount of money for registration purposes. Then you, as a ruling party, you step the game. I think I want to first investigate. Is it a decision based on the executive committee?
No.
Or it is enshrined in the constitution of the CDC? Because what I know about political party constitution, the amount that you're supposed to pay, it must be mentioned within that political institution manifesto, not manifesto, but constitution. Is it in line with what is enshrined in the CDC constitution, that during convention, this is the amount you're supposed to pay if you want to run for chairman, co-chairman, or vice chairman? Because we know for sure that every political party has a constitutional provision that is clearly how much you're supposed to pay as a due paying members. So if it is specified that you're supposed to pay certain amount as a member of the political party, I am also sure that the specification about how much you're supposed to pay to contest specific positions in the CDC during convention, it should have also been stipulated. I don't know any of you have that information, but I'm very curious to know about that, and I'm going to do my research. If it is not consistent with what is enshrined in the constitution of the CDC, and you come with this as top, a huge amount, I am not too sure whether people are going to participate. The people with the big pockets are going to get elected. Because if you can't register $2,500, obviously it's a way of telling you we don't want you to contest. Simple.
Maybe Fendela, like you said, maybe I think it is a means that they've created where to deprive those of the people that cannot afford. Like Falcon mentioned, in these difficult times, it is very difficult for people to even afford the first $100. Then to say that someone will and the word used in that document is said non-refundable. It means when you put that 2,000, there's no guarantee that anything about it. If you are not successful, you cannot do anything about it. There are a few things that will come to mind. You asking yourself, why should I? Looking at the current leaders and looking at the possibility for you to win such an election. Mind you, it is very difficult to say that you will pay your 2,000 for the chairmanship position and think you will go and win Molba Moluso easily. Looking at his current status and things that he's currently involved with, it is clear that some people in the party will favor Molba Molu, even though some people will not. But what is the possibility of you paying your 2,000 or 1,000 or 1,000 plus for some of the positions they mentioned, that you will win, or that even the process will be free, fair, and transparent? And I think it's very, very exorbitant to the extent, sometimes this is what I think continues to happen. Most of the things are happening in Liberia, particularly about political parties. The people believe in lies than truth. Because if you listen to they said change for hope, right? And then they said pro-poll, and CDC should be a government that is for the masses. Being for the masses alone, let us be honest, or masses party cannot be charging. Now you are the government. You don't need so much to the extent that you will allow people to pay a set amount of money. But that could be another means, Fendela, that figure could scare people to not participate. Because
not only that, Sekou. The fact that you decided to hold the convention in Mosurado, you have already disenfranchised the rights of many people. Someone in Grand Cru wants to be a chairman. The time they are taken from Grand Cru to enter Monrovia, it's going to be a problem. Look at the timing as to when delegates are supposed to arrive. It was issued on the 20th, and the same arrival is same time. So leaving from the southeast to come to Mosurado, it's going to take you 2 days. So primarily before you reach election is over.
And in fact, there were no pre-announcement as to inform partisans that there will be a convention this time. So that will put people to prepare themselves. Because Vendetta, you want to contest for a certain position, right? Looking at your financial strength, when you are informed maybe 1-2 weeks ahead, you will position yourself to try to look out for the money, right?
But how you were even campaign?
That's the thing.
How you were lobbying with the delegates?
So it's like they're doing the thing undercover. No one should be informed about it.
No, this thing, whoever look, this has exposed the political nakedness of the CDC. And there's no other way to describe these kinds of anti-democratic tendencies. Because, first and foremost, you issue a press statement on the eve of the arrival.
Right.
You did not carry on publicity, but right as a ruling party, all the 15 political subdivisions of the Republic of Liberia must be in the know. They must publicize that the CDC is going for convention. That the CDC is trying to reposition itself for battle come 2023.
Right.
You didn't do that. We don't even know as to whether someone in Lofa County wants to contest for the chairmanship or for an executive committee member position. Nobody knows. Maybe he just got it today. From Lofa to come to Mosurado, it will take maybe 1 day and a half before you reach. Delegates are already set up. That's one aspect. And another aspect is that why bring this convention in Mosurado? You have already been in power. You have deployed all your anti-democratic tendencies. Your people in strategic areas. You bring in people. You're supposed to go to neutral ground. It should not be where you have executed the mandate of the CDC for 5 years. We needed to go to a neutral ground. So everybody can go and convince each other. But you are the referee. You are the coach. You are the player. You are the captain. And you make the rules and you decide as to who should follow the rule or not. Brother, I think the political nakedness of the CDC has just come out.
Faka, you want to say something? So we go to our
yeah. I mean,
this is just a
I'm not going to say to Vendela you're wrong. Let me be honest with you. I am a member of the coalition, and I can confirm here that 90% of the coalition did not know that the CDC was going to convention on the 20th. Every political party within the coalition would have a convention at some point. But to say, oh, we're having convention today, delegates will arrive today. How? How? And your registration today in the same document. How this person will go hustle to raise this kind of money?
Mm-hmm.
It tells you that the Congress for Democratic Change, one of the biggest problems we've had in the coalition is that there are certain folks who actually believe that the Congress for Democratic Change is their personal property. And that's the problem we've been having all along. They want to do what they want to do. They don't even want to consider other people in the coalition. Look at this disaster. It is a political disaster. It does not promote democracy, and it does not allow for greater participation in the party. And so you're going to handpick a group of people again and bring them to the coalition. That is going to be a problem. I'm not sure how that will work, but it remains to be seen.
But this before we move ahead to the next issue, there are a few things I'm looking at. We have it's no longer a year; we have months to the 2023 elections, and with these kinds of actions, looking at the way some of the things happening in the CDC. There are people that are very disenchanted about the way, this convention issue is ongoing. People that think that they should be part and they've been deprived because of the way they've done it. As we move gradually towards the elections, these are some of the things that are going to be affecting the CDC. Mind you, politically, there are certain individuals that have control to certain areas in terms of political issues. For example, okay, Fendela, I think you just did your own correct. It's clear now. Thank you very much. I think somebody just sent me that they were getting that home in sound, but I think it's much better now, Fendela. I think you did your system good. It's very clear. Now, this is it. Back to the issue. You're moving towards elections. There are some people who have control to some other areas. And when you carry out a convention in this manner and form, depriving them to have their will, even though maybe at times they will come and they won't win these kinds of elections, but at least they'll be given the opportunity looking at how the process is free, fair, and transparent. But what you've done, you've deprived the other people. And as you move towards elections, these are some of the people you're depending on to give you the votes you need. Mind you, John Brown sits in maybe Lofa, and he wants to contest to become the chairman of CDC. He has a control in Lofa. He brings out numbers in Lofa. But this man cannot afford the issue that you're requesting in terms of how much he needs to pay. And the way in which you did it, you did not give prior notice to inform this man to prepare himself. You did it that issue could just satisfy you yourself, that you could have the leverage to do what you want to do. So what he's going to do, either he tries and he fails. What next he's going to do, he decides to himself that this party is not the party we knew before, where our rights will be protected. It is because they think that we are not the people to make decisions. That's the reason why they've done this. So the next time you go back to Lofa Camp 2023, you need this man's support. You don't expect this man to give you the support you need from him, because he himself he's a victim of what you've done against his will. So in terms of this man being a help to you now, he's going to do something against your will. And I hope CDC or those of the people in positions in CDC, they know what they are doing. Politics is about interest. No one should tell anyone that you need to support me because politics is about interest. And hope CDC understand this. We are moving towards the 2023 elections. You cannot harm everybody out and you harm those of the people in that are supposed to protect you. So when the people that are out want to come and harm you in, the ones that in should be the ones that will protect you from within to combat the guys that are coming from out. But this, like we were having a conversation behind the scene, there are a lot of seditions are angry about this. In fact, some seditions, it is because of this program now they are aware that CDC is having, Congress.
Of course.
In which it shouldn't be so. CDC
But let me say this to you. I really want us, Vandela, to focus on the money. How many seditions, ordinary seditions, that you guys know from the 15 political subdivisions, and even in the diaspora, they have the right to be chairman. How many people can CDC say when they took power, they look at to be able to afford 2,500 at short notice? Okay, let's be the chairman, or let's look at the petty positions. Even the man who sort of pray for the party.
Put it there again, please.
1,000 US. Who wants to be chaplain and pay 1,000 US just to win? To pray? Vandera, your mic is muted. To pray?
Vandera, unmute your mic.
Okay, yeah, okay. You hear me now? Okay.
It's not feasible. I don't know what they were thinking, but this, in my view, it's clear that the whole leadership will be meeting and nobody will come here. I can say. I can say more than that.
Fendera, you want to say something that will wrap up to go on? You want to say something that will wrap up to go on the CDC?
Yeah, I think political party is not about money. I think we need to discourage money being used as a strategy to disenfranchise the minds, the rights of ordinary Liberians from seeking political office at the level of political institutions. Just a few months ago, when Representative Larry Yonkwe said that they should increase the political registration fee of candidates for the Senate and the House of Representatives, members of the CDC and other opposition political parties condemned that representative for proffering such idea. Even the National Elections Commission did not listen to that. So at the national level, we are trying to discourage people using money, the increment of registration fees for candidates wanting to contest senatorial, representative, and presidential elections. Then the CDC, who is supposed to be upholding these rules and setting a clear example, is also following the very people they have criticized. Like I mentioned to you, they criticized the United Party. That guys were broke and they were looking for money to run campaign. We saw the social media, how everybody laughed. So what can we say? Can we also conclude that the CDC has lost its relevance? Because this is not the CDC that we knew prior to them coming to power. The CDC did not charge this amount. They did not. Now that you are in power, one will assume that you should even make it free because you control the money. You understand? But again, like I said, this thing is whoever that brought this idea was not timely. And it is good for the CDC to be politically rebuked. It undermines the tenets of democratic values and principles. It disenfranchises the rights of many people. I don't know whether people are still on their way to Mosorado County. Nobody knows. You led the CDC in Mosorado. This is where you hire your seat for almost 5 years. And you are inviting people to Mosorado. There's no open terrain. I think we needed to have gone to a neutral ground. The CDC needed to have gone to a neutral ground to make sure that these things are okay. And some of those individuals believe it. I can guarantee you this week, there will be noise in the CDC. I'm not a political prophet, but noise is on the way. That's what I can say. But let's start for now. I see noise, and this noise will spill over to 2023. And if care is not taken, that will be the foundation of the internal, problems in the CDC that will spread, and the opposition are going to capitalize on that.
Where do you think the CDC could have taken could have carried this convention? I don't see
they should have taken the
because
they should have
no. I know what you want to say. You want to say they should have taken it out of town. Fine, but your 5 years in power, you ever broke up or ran to my heart? Now you want whole Congress. Now you say, "Obi Atoya will come in there." Which country would have hosted the Congress for Democratic Change?
But Eugene, when you want to reconcile with somebody that you hurt, you go to them. You don't make them to come to you.
I agree. But what I'm saying, look at the short notice. They couldn't go anywhere, my brother. Everybody would have rejected them. Because
so it means there's something there's something under that sleeve. So at the end of the day, they don't want it to get out in the public like the way now we've been able to have, what they're doing, even though they came out with release, which is also very late, But I think our housekeeping is not bad, but it also, coincide with one of the major talking points we have for today, which has to do with the document that was being signed, the Memorandum of Understanding between the CDC, the NPP, and that of the LPDP that brought on board the Coalition for Democratic Change. Now, let's say this, for those of you listening, and we need to make these kinds of allocations so that you can know exactly what we're talking about, right? We're talking about 3 political parties, and in extension 4 with Prince Johnson on, which we'll restore, but we're starting the basic with 3 political parties. The Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC you knew before, the National Patriotic Party, with that of the LPDP, former Speaker Alex Tyler Party, LPDP. They are the 3 political parties we're about to discuss. And what we're going to say here, everything we're going to say, we're going to discuss them from their own document design. We have it, and we will quote for you what in their own document. We will post it on the television so you can see it for yourself. And we'll also let you know that the fate of the CDC, if the CDC is not careful, the Congress of Democratic Change, we're not talking now, we will be very simple. We're not talking about the coalition. The coalition, that means the 3 political parties. But we're talking about the Congress for Democratic Change from the Coalition for Democratic Change, because it is the CDC that is heading the Congress of Democratic Change, because the political leader of the CDC is the head of the coalition, in extension, the president of the country. So, this is it, gentlemen. We've been going through this issue. We've been sharing our thoughts about the document. We've been reading through the document concerning the 3 political parties. This document got expired on the 2nd of November. So that means there's no coalition. In fact, we don't have no coalition any longer. We have 3 political parties, not coalition any longer, because there has been no new document signed binding the 3 political parties to the marriage they had 2017. So by now, even the National Elections Commission, which will make efforts, there is no legal document to call any, political activity or institution coalition until the 3 political parties that signed on to this document in our possession, with all the things it said, they can do it again. Then it means to God, we just thought to let you know about that. There's no coalition again. The document expired on the 2nd of November, which is this month. It has not been signed When we go into it, you will understand. So, Falcon, what do you make from all of our readings, going through all of the documents and all of that? What do you make of this document? How do you see this document? What's the possibility you think CDC will have the other two political parties to sign on what they've done?
Look, we, as a pundit, as an analyst, as a commentator, as whatever you want to term that person who will sit and go through such a document, apart from what was just discussed, you will realize that the CDC is in a mess. Whether it's the CDC Congress for Democratic Change or it's the CDC Coalition for Democratic Change, clearly the CDC is in a mess. The document ceased to exist as of November 2nd. They've not been able to put together a new document. And the reason is very simple. The others have demands that must be met or else they will not sign. To make matters worse, I don't want to go into the details, but to make matters worse is the fact that they were very clear that we came with a coalition and you guys just decided to hijack the process. You as in the Congress for Democratic Change. So the LPDP and the NPP have made demands that I, as a member of that coalition, knows fully well that the CDC cannot meet it. On top of it, I know you will say, let's not go to Prince Johnson.
Falcon,
but
Falcon, I'm not cutting you off. You know, we're going to say some big things today. The country will be, you know, surprised at some of these things. We're going to go to some of the, you know, quote unquote discussions, demands being made. But I want us to start from the foundation first. Let's look at the document that brought them together. What are the things in the document? What are some of the commitments they made to each other? Are the commitments being...
That's what I was about to go to.
Okay, go ahead.
Three
Sorry.
parties took over a government. They should have divided ministries, agencies, and what have you. The appointments should have been balanced. The governance process and the governance council should have been taking decision. I mean, from the day they took over, it was just one group of people. Because of the vice president being vice president. Well, clearly you can see Ellis Talos disappeared. At some point, the vice president was complaining of marginalization. So it was only one group of people. And this group did everything the way they wanted to and how they wanted to. And to come back and ask the same people to continue, the LPDP, the NPP refuse. And they are demanding, part of the demand is that the document has expired. To renew the document, they must have something they can see in good faith. And as a result of that, then they're like, we are where we are right now. And I don't think we're leaving from there.
So, Seku, you know, I had a time to read the preamble of this political institution. It has some interesting feature. Hey, let me just read to the listening public. It says, having endued almost 12 years of the Unity Party-led government, which has been wanting in the provision of basic social services, good governance, genuine national reconciliation, accountability, and transparency, and has deprived, I want you to underscore the word deprived, and has deprived our people of a decent standard of living, national development, and respect for fundamental and inalienable human rights enshrined in the Constitution of Liberia. And whereas a group of opposition political parties of Liberia has recognized the urgent need, underscore the word urgent need, to evaluate and consolidate a common approach that addresses collective aspirations of all Liberians in the coming general and presidential elections. Can you imagine that? They said the Unity Party. Yes, of course, it was the time. The UP did not do well, and therefore they came together to improve the living standard of our country. I want to ask, have they improved the living conditions of our people? When vast majority of our people are wallowing in poverty and desperation, have they respected human rights? Have they fought corruption? Have they been able to reposition Liberia as a strategic partner? Has the coalition recognized the urgent need as enshrined in this agreement? That's not an issue. But come down to article, of this document, article 6F, article 6, article 6R. This is why it says, after the coalition electoral victory, all members of the coalition shall have the right to be a part of a national unity government, where all the interests of the coalition members shall be considered first and foremost on a first and foremost choice preference for nomination for position in government. So I think this is where the problem lies. We'll go to the press statement issued by Prince Johnson.
No, before we go to
before we go there,
let me learn on this one.
Before we go to Prince Johnson,
we will come to that. Yeah.
You stay in that thing, you won't leave it to go to Prince Johnson. You raised very important point. We need to, we need to look at it good before you go to Prince Johnson. Is just addition.
Yeah. So my point here is we need to be very careful, brothers. I am so saddened by this thing. Remember, we criticized the CPP for the same thing. When the CPP document came, they said in order to have a government appointed position, you must be known, you must be well-paying member, and you must be member of a constituent political party. This document,
the CPP.
The CPP, yes. We criticize them.
Yeah.
The CDC document, it was not in the public. That is the reason why this thing was not flagged out. It violates the rights of our people. If you read Article 7, Article 6 or 7 or 12, it talks about discrimination. So this particular coalition document violated the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, because you cannot talk about first choice preference. We are supposed to be flagging the issue of qualification and competence. This is the foundation of the spoils system. So one would presume that the establishment of political parties is to advance an evil agenda.
I will ask that you read that part again. It says for consideration
after the coalition electoral victory.
Thank you.
All members of the coalition shall have the right to be a part of national unity government. They say all members of the coalition.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily shall be the one chosen, but they will have that right within the party to exercise. It is the party's constitution that you are reading, or party document.
No, they say coalition. No, the one I
saying that when you are in our party, you will have that right to be considered. When you are in our party, meaning, but we
listen.
Eugene, get this clear.
No,
get this clear.
The Liberian Constitution. It says an agreement between political parties, and part of that agreement was saying, we who in this thing, we all of us, we will have the right. Now CDC will just be taking people. We should have the same right too.
That's the
So
same
I
thing
wanna
that. Mhm.
no, I come in. When you
Go ahead,
say,
Fendela.
and this is the point, under our law, the Constitution states clearly, you have the right to associate with a political party and not to associate with a political party.
Thank you.
If you sign a political document and say, after the coalition electoral victory,
Yes.
all members of the coalition, all
Yes.
members. So meaning, meaning if I were not part of the 3 political parties after your win election, I am a government boom.
No, then you read
And
it
they
wrong. I disagree.
But that's why
No,
it says.
no. Fendela, you didn't get it right.
Hold on.
But let me read it. No. We gotta be clear. I have the document.
I will tell you why that
No,
part was
Fendela,
placed in that
let me just come in. Fendela, I think you're trying to get it.
with the Constitution
Listen,
of Liberia. This is
It
an
is
agreement we
not the
signed
constitution. This is the agreement between the political parties.
But the Constitution states in Article 2, Article 2 of our Constitution states clearly, any law that contravenes the Constitution of the Liberian people.
But that is not a law.
Not, but this is a law. So how you call
This
this?
is an agreement.
This is an agreement to come together.
And listen, they did not say
to come together.
They did not say in this agreement that someone out cannot have a job. No.
They say first preference. When you talk about first preference, it's discrimination.
It says shall have the right.
Okay, let me read it to you.
Fendela, you are coming, please. That means because in my mind, you are coming, and Falcon will come in, please. In my mind, what the people that crafted this agreement thought of at the time, they should not experience or notice what they are experiencing now, where one political party among the 3 political parties will decide exclusively to do all by themselves.
I am pleased to announce without malice that the son of the President of the Republic of Liberia just netted home the first goal for the U.S. national team against Wales.
Okay, thank you very much.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
A sedition will always be a sedition. Thank you.
No, they want that one nephew. Don't put no parental baby inside. When I bring Mexico, we gotta be inside that one. Because if I one would not take part from that stadium a long time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
If I don't maybe toss on it. If I we don't want saying that I ain't pas saying that.
Okay. So like I was saying, right?
Okay.
This document was crafted with the understanding that some of the things are happening now. The crafter were trying to put a halt to some of these things, because when you have these kinds of engagements, most often you will see these things happening. So what the people thought of, they don't just want, for example, what continuously being said, only CDC is appointing people in government.
And that's the point I wanted for you to just give me a few minutes to tell you.
You don't have LPDP. You don't have LPDP appointing people or giving people names and they be appointed in major positions in the government. You don't have NPP doing the same. So the people that crafted the document, along with the folks on CDC, they all thought that instead of us having this to happen in the future when the government takes over, we should do this so to avoid it. Even though the effects are signatures today, it is not yielding results. All the people that are in CDC, yes, I'm coming to go to you, Falcon, just a minute. All the people that are in CDC, people that are in NPP, people that are in LPDP that are qualified for positions within government, they were to be given the opportunity to serve the positions. But it is contrary to what they agreed on.
Thank you.
So go ahead.
Now, the point I wanted to make, we signed an agreement. The purpose for which those parties, Vendela, put that inside there was to avoid what happened when they actually took power. If you were watching, when they took power, the first appointees were Mary Broad, GSA. You remember that? Daniel Zianka, Minister of Defense. Finlay, what's his first name? Foreign Affairs. Bezonga Finlay, Foreign Affairs. Then Eugene Langbe from Unity Party was already an information. They between him. Then Internal Affairs, Vani Salif, was already there for the 12 years. They between him. I just gave 5 people right now straight. You came with 3 political parties, and your first 5 appointments came from the opposition. You see that right there? It came, you met them there, and you retained them like your friends did not exist. Today, look at the lady at Housing, Coffee Brown, who was campaigning heavily against the CDC in her green and white t-shirt. That one, the picture all over the place. You sent her to the port. From the port, you sent her to Housing Authority. That was the far-sightedness of the people crafting that document. They say these people will have the right. It don't necessarily mean they will violate the Constitution. But even if you look at Prince Johnson's document, I'm not trying to bring it in, Sekou. And I see he said, we agree with you that you will get us money when we join you and we all win. But then you left us by the wayside. You find the people we took, that the people you rather get a jobs to. So they are now saying for us to come back, brother, they 5 years, the people you carry with you, they either go with you or you do something for us that will make us put pen to paper. Other than that, the document expires November 2nd. Today, they have not even sat down to put together a document. It is even now.
Oh, yeah, that is clear. That is clear. Most this I can say for sure. The process of having the political parties that signed on the document earlier on to have them now to do it. I'm not.
But that was what they envisaged.
So let me come in, Sekou.
I understand. Let me land on this though. I understand the part of the Constitution, but this document does not suggest in any way that seditious would be the only people that would be appointed. Instead, in the agreement, because they knew they came from different parts, and people would say, we didn't want to call you, so you're not supposed to be talking yet. They said no. Members of the coalition shall have the right to be appointed, chosen, whatever. And that right.
No, let me say this now. I'm not.
Of the coalition.
Let me clarify. This document is not a reflection of the CDC as a political institution that I am talking about. I am talking about these 3 political parties. This is their preamble that I read from the beginning. You have the document, I have the document.
Right.
I'm talking about what they mentioned in their preamble.
In the agreement.
Yes. They came under the banner of the Coalition for Democratic Change to form a government. Article 6, Section R, it states clear that after the coalition electoral
Hold it there, Vendela. It said after. It was
I agree.
When they won the government job or they won the position.
No, but let me tell you, Eugene.
After we win.
No, Eugene, I'm aware that this document was before 2017 election.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
They were thinking that after they win the election, this is how they will proceed.
Of course.
After the coalition electoral victory, I'm not saying CDC electoral victory. After the coalition electoral victory,
yes,
all members of the coalition shall have the right to be a part of a national unity government. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Where all the interests of the coalition members shall be considered first and foremost on a first choice preference for nomination for position in government. So here is my thing. We recently criticized the CPP that stated clearly that in fact, seditious, including you and executives of the CDC, criticized the CPP document that the people who want to replace the Coalition for Democratic Change are divisive. They don't believe in the tenets of democratic.
But there was a word used there. It said only.
I come in. If they say une, and you are talking about first choice preference, what is the difference?
The difference there is une means just that. Just that.
And first choice preference, everybody will come. I come in. No, you have to hold on.
This was an agreement.
But agreement can be bad.
When I say it can be bad.
Okay, but this one is bad. So this is the reason why this agreement did not hold. Because it had fundamental flaws. It was discriminatory in nature. Let me read you Article 7 of the Liberian Constitution. Maybe when my internet comes on, I will try to. No. I need to read that. No. I come in. Let me read.
Right. But
I agree.
For between political parties, somehow, why do you think we have 3 branches of government? Why do you think they appoint people and they have to go for confirmation?
So you are telling me
in the house?
You are telling me, and this is the problem I have had with political institutions. We need to strengthen our political institutions. Political parties are governments in waiting. If the government in waiting is discriminatory in nature, it will automatically go ahead to violate the rights of its citizens.
Then let's disagree to agree on this one. An agreement between political parties should not be construed as a national policy or a policy that the party will carry to the national table. I don't think so. You and myself come in May agreement. Then I said, Vendela, when we win, how will be low-key? You say, shut up. But in the agreement, it's not stated that when we win, I will have the same right as you. What do you think you will do to me?
So this one, I come in now. So when these guys were making these policies, they did not think about professional Liberians who are prohibited from joining political parties. They did not think about Liberians who, for some reasons, they are exercising their political franchise not to associate with political institutions because it's guaranteed under the Constitution of Liberia that you have the right to associate with political parties and not to associate with political parties. Those who choose not to associate with political parties.
But I don't see your point.
But let me learn. In this
I
document,
don't see, you need to explain to me how does an agreement between 3 political parties to have equal rights within the party to positions in government translate into a violation of the Constitution? You're not making that point clear to the people listening.
The point is, if you look at the membership of the CDC and all these political parties, the membership alone does not have the right to give them political power. The membership of the CDC is not over even 200,000.
That's not
but
the
you
point.
want a vote. I come in. You want an election of over 500,000 votes. Where do other people come from? So are you insensitive not to include them when they come from government jobs?
That's why we have a law called Constitution. This is their agreement. Let me ask you this. If me and you have an agreement right now on this station that if we win the lotto, we divide the money 2,000 to me. And
no, this one
we win the 4,000. Whether I rob you, whether you steal from me, if we don't go to court, the law got anything to do with us?
So that analogy cannot hold
let's talk
in
about
this
the agreement.
context.
Because we have wasted enough time on a party agreement and we're leaving out the substance. The substance here is, can the coalition hold?
And which is very, very difficult because
what the people that were first hired, they have violated their own agreement. What did I want
let me come in, Eugene. You know, and the argument is very important and it makes a lot of sense. But this is what I think, and almost all that were agreed in the documents before every one of us tonight, they've not been implemented. Now, there's a portion of this document that talks about is Article 5, terms and conditions of the coalition. And then you come to the governing council.
Yeah.
If you go to the governing council, it tells you how most of the decisions should have come from the governing council. It should be controlled.
That one does not even exist.
So you know what that means? Let me read for those of you listening. They said the governing council, The Governing Council shall be the highest decision-making organ which shall have the responsibility and authority to formulate and adopt policies. What that means in a simple term, meaning the Governing Council, and if you go through the document, members that formed or made up the Governing Council, standard bearers of the three political parties, chairmen of the three political parties, and I think the Secretary General, something like that, with some other members that made up the Governing Council. So that means you have the level-headed men and women in the Governing Council, and most of the decisions that were to be taken should have come from the Governing Council. That will be jointly done by all the three political parties, because you have the NPP, standard bearers in the Governing Council, chairman is in the Governing Council, other officials in the Governing Council. You have the CDC the same. You have the LPDP the same. So, for example, if the government wants to take a decision, that should come from the Governing Council, where it will be approved, discussed, accepted, and that decision is taken. For example, like the way you have appointments in government, when the Governing Council names are being presented, even though there is no law that supersedes the Constitution, but agreements are to be a barber.
Yes.
Because it is the agreement that gave birth to the group that brought up the government. CDC by herself could not win elections so easily. LPDP by herself could not win elections so easily. NPP by herself could not win elections so easily. So in this case, no one is so big to the extent to think that it is because of them and they won the election. So in this case, the Governing Council served as a what? As a ground where most of the discussions and important decisions as to have a very good governance will be made. Where you have all the political leaders go for a meeting, names are being sent for appointments. Under the Constitution, the president has the constitutional right to appoint, but in that document, at least there could be some consultations from the Governing Council, discussions being made. Okay, this is what we need to do. Listen, we went to an agreement that we should share all the things. Okay, so how many ministries we have? We have, for example, 10 ministries. How many agencies do we have? Maybe we have like 5 agencies. Okay, so what do? The president has the right. His party will go, maybe take, because he's the president, he heads the coalition. Out of the 15, maybe the president will take 6 to 7 because he's the president, or 8. You know, that's the reason, the essence of the Governing Council. Bring names. Nobody's saying that, oh, you should go appoint unqualified people to positions. Bring qualified people. I think that was the reason why they decided to have the Governing Council. But another thing that is also not working, there's no decision. I'm told since the ascendancy of this government, I think the Governing Council, that only one time they met.
They met one time.
Very good. One time. Since that time, they've not met. So what's the possibility, Fendela? Let's make some logical issue here, Facom. What is the possibility to have the other political parties to come back to a table to affix their signatures that when we do this, what we're going to accept or agree on, they will be implemented? When the first agreement, all the things that were mentioned, they did not go up to it. There's no Governing Council, meeting or whatsoever. Those of the people that were to be appointed based on what they agree on, they should give leverage to the people. It has not been done. You still listen to people from LPDP complaining that they're not being appointed in government. You listen to people from NPP saying that they're not being appointed in government. Most of the people, they're from the CDC themselves. So what's the possibility of someone, you Fendela, know, or Facom, can that work in your case where you will go and fix your signature? What would be the encouragement, or what would you depend on this time around to go and affect your signature, that when we do this time around, there will be something, or maybe we will go by what we will agree to?
So 2 things, or maybe 3. It is regretful that the instrument was not upheld, and that is an abuse of political power, because when you sign to something and you win an election, and what is supposed to be done, you don't do it. If I should use my childhood word, you retire the other political parties with job. You retire them.
Hey man, I put the whole country intervention.
And because these guys, and because these political parties were retired, it's like they killed a cow and they were eating dry rice. They have cried, they have been on the mat for a long time. And some of them, they are still hoping. Even today, you give some of them jobs, some of them will consider, because they feel that for 7 months, they can get their benefits. And then whether they win or not, they will proceed. But I see an entanglement here. There is an international pressure already on the government to do what is right. And one of the key members of the coalition has been sanctioned. So to even renew that mandate, which we'll talk later, it will be an affront to the United States. So they are not going to go there. They might want to listen, because they accuse him of vote selling, or selling vote for political party for money business, which undermines the democratic process. These opposition political parties, it's going to be difficult. I'm not a political or prophet. The NPP is already having a serious headache. They went for convention, it could not hold. We have two NPP right now as we speak. And they have accused the vice president of overstaying in power. That under the NPP constitution, you cannot be standard bearer for more than 3 terms. The vice president has exceeded that mandate. The law is the law. You have 2 factions within the NPP. Before resolving that and come together as a unit, President Weah will have to think twice. At the same time, these political parties that were part of the coalition, they are now exploring opportunities within the opposition. And a credible opposition that will meet their demands, that will strategically heal their wounds or accommodate them and give them a renewed message. It's like almost, you went somewhere, you were disappointed, but you go somewhere on the other side and somebody say, I can do better than what they did to you. Obviously, once they find a better option, they are going to leave the CDC and go to the opposition to reposition themselves to fight back against the Weah-led government. However, if the CDC is also smart enough, you have to pay damages. The only thing that will make these people to sign a new agreement is to pay the damages. For 4 years, you did not give me job. You did not give our people job. So you have to settle on money.
5 years.
5 years. You will have 5 years. The only thing that will make any of these individual institutions, political parties, to re-affix their signatures to that document is to pay the damages. It's almost like in tradition. You heard the woman, you go back, it's not sweet talk. You will pay the damages. So is the CDC willing to pay the damages of these political institutions that they didn't give them job? So don't be surprised. The CDC, if they really determine to win the election, They are not just going to pay damages, but they are going to bring other political parties on board to say, join us. This is a new era. This is a new position. This is a new year. And we can improve on the mistake that we made in the past. Until then, if those damages are not paid, if there is not a perfect national reconciliation, brother, I'm not too sure that the CDC is going to hold. PYJ talk about his, his statement. It's just the damage. Once you give him the damage, tomorrow morning he will be to CDC headquarters to have his signature. And then James is ready to move.
But did
Well,
go to PYJ?
Well, let me say this. Here is what, speaking of, they have to turn to other parties. There were 6 political parties that signed an agreement to cooperate with the coalition. Malu named the 6 parties. The 6 political parties, if you look at the 6 political parties, you will know that they are registered, they are legit, but a party on paper. They call them PAPCON, P-O-P, party on paper. Then you just put a con behind there, PAPCON. And I will say this. Vendela is right when he says you have to pay the damages. But have you heard some of the rumors of the damages, the amount in damages requested? I think the CDC would rather say, my man, let's just forget it. Because they can even use it to build a new empire, and they don't have it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the guys will not allow what has happened, what they've learned from, based
but they're
on
not
the
stupid. In the 5th year, in the 5th year, next year will be the 6th. First of all, you appoint anybody, people don't know whether they will be confirmed. But you come to them and say, I will give you appointing power. After 5 years, you think they're going to take the chances with this 1 year? They will surely ask you, forget about the position, settle us. Forget about the position. And I can say this for free, and those citizens listening will say X, Y, Z, but the truth of the matter is here. How many persons you see in the government actually came from the Coalition for Democratic Change? Apart from the Congress for Democratic Change, you don't see a lot of the other political parties or contributing coalitionists. I was never a member of the Congress for Democratic Change, Mandela, you know that. But I came in as a nationalist. There were other people who came from different political parties. Those one empire, if the people who inside the thinking that you who come from OSA. So it has reached the point that many of the persons who supported the coalition have withdrawn. The parties that remain there are now asking for damages, like Vendala call it. I think we're reaching the end of the game. That's my honest opinion.
Okay, so we you guys want us to talk a little bit about this. It's just the same thing about what Pre-YJ is saying, and like Fendela said, it's just business as usual. Once maybe CDC dance to the tune of PYJ at the end of the day, something could come up different.
But we shouldn't even look at that. You should look at it from the angle that you came in first. Everybody that CDC had agreement with, the Chaklaye. CDC can buy credit. CDC can credit, but they can't pay. CDC can use your equipment, they can't pay. That's the mindset of all these people. So Prince Johnson ended his statement by saying the agreement with them has come to a what? End. Meaning you'll come back. Now, if y'all come back again, then we'll see what to do. But Vendala, I agree with you. Damages will have to be paid.
So, and let us not just discuss these political parties. Are these political parties also sincere? They establish I don't see political parties as interest groups. I see political parties as people trying to advance their selfish agenda. you come to the table with quote-unquote political party. You go into an agreement. These opposition political parties were pursuing individual interests. In the midst of national calamity, corruption, many of them did not say anything. They kept quiet. Some of them were successful to have some employment opportunities. I think they prioritized some of them. They did not retire all of them. They gave some of them something. You see, we are beginning to build a society where the only way you can enter government except you join a political party. If you are not directly involved in political activities, you are not going to get an elected position. If we reduce our political institutions to getting jobs, every agreement that is made, people are concerned about the job, every agreement. Liberia is transitioning into a process. Political parties are not just going to be a semblance or a vehicle that people can ride through. And that's why some people, when they win an election, they sell positions within their political party. They sell slots. The CDC sold slots. You know, Facon. CDC Square, the slots. You know, you're supposed to tell, or you know, they sold slots.
I don't know
because
selling slots.
They sold slots. Citizens were on the radio. They issued press statements.
Facon, didn't you listen to people saying that they pay money for jobs in the government?
Well,
he was there.
It's easier for.
But how would that be rumor?
No, I'm not defending the CDC. That one is far from me. Because what I want us to focus on here is two things, like Vandela said. The damages will have to be paid. And if it's not paid, we're looking at the crumbling of a major political party. And the second thing here is, will there be a coalition towards 2023? It's doubtful. And when you open the phone lines, maybe you will hear a lot. But Vandela is right. At the end of the day, we need to look at political parties much more closer. But if you look in this government, some of the people in the government, they never have party. Because they're their friend and their friend. I said it the other day. So unless you want me to be starting naming all the people there and their friend and their family. But I think we are heading for a little problem here. And I agree with you, Vandela, when you say the damages will have to be paid or they will have to. But I think we have a much bigger problem. And the problem within the political system now is trust. You go to the CPP, trust. You come to the CDC, trust. Who do we trust now? And that's why I think we will see an independent movement sooner than later.
Is that a prophecy?
It is a political prophecy.
And are you going to be part of it?
My dear brother, the Vandela man that's standing over there, he the one started the independent movement. I say he deny it. Because so people are tired. People are fed up where their loyalty to country is now taken from them and forced into a political party. That was one of the reasons I had problem with my own party. My country comes first and the party comes second. But in the CDC, the party remain what? Supreme. How do you do something like that?
That's why I say.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the lines and take few calls, and then if time is still there, we'll go to talk about our next topic on the program. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1, and we are your presenters. I'm Sekou Sharif, Eugene Facon, Fandela, Patrick. The three of us are going to be here from Monday to Friday every weekday, so you don't want to miss it. Too many important issues. We're going to go to the lines now. For those of you out of Liberia, you want to form part of the show, our WhatsApp line is 0770-907-907. For those of you out of Liberia, our WhatsApp line is 0770-907-907. 0770-907-907. For those of you out of Liberia and you want to form part of the discussion here tonight, our two local lines are 0770-907-907. That's the number. You can call it and you will be live on the radio on the direct lines here. 0770-907-907. 0886-907-907 is the Lone Star line. Let me take some of your calls now. We go to the lines. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Seko.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Maja Banibeseko. I'm a member of the Congress for Democratic Change. I'm calling you from my residence, down Johansson.
Johansson.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, let me first of all commend you and commend Vandal Patrick and Paddy Eugene Facon. Discussion is healthy. Even ourselves, we are taken by surprise this morning. I mean, yesterday, the party is carrying on a convention. We have challenged that already. We have right today, the government page, you will see that we are quoting Article 43C of the Net Regulation of Political Parties, that before a convention, a notice must be served 14 days before the convention starts. So we have before National Executive Committee that if that process is not halted, we will be running to court tomorrow to put an injection on it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Let's take more calls. Oh, too bad. Just move from the monitor, please. You don't want us to. Go ahead. Your name. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. This is Edward Spencer M. Cho, and I've joined the unique platform for my resident in Tuporo. Wow, I'm really amazed, and they have so difficult for the platform. I was the heart of the Eugene Facon and Fantana. This is my first time really listening to Fantana Patrick. You know, I mean, he's a good guy. And balance, man. Thank you, Siku. Thank you for the great way we'll be following. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me take another person on the line. You know, it's too interesting here tonight on the program.
How you hold convention? Your old people in know. Hey, Vendela, you're been in a long time.
Yeah. Let me take another person. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, this is Johnny Erickson Bona, and I call you from the Johnson Village. Yeah, I want to appreciate Patterson Eugene Facon. I mean, he's one of the objective librarians I've seen. And issue regarding the field of position as it relates to the information, I think it was to exhibition, one of the organizer of observer group that is the start of engineering students movement for just real presidency. And after election, some of us thought that our leaders that we work with would have recognized us, especially being professional civil engineer and other stuff. But I mean, unfortunately, some of us who were bolded acts seeking some maybe presidential appointed position that we should pay something above $2,000. And those three positions that some of us are interested in, those that occupy were not citizens, but they were people that were already working in the Unity Party. So because they could afford, they got oppositions. So, I mean, it is not fair and it is not false. People were thinking about they were not really opposition, but those anyone that could afford to pay.
Okay.
Those citizens and all that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take another person. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Thomas Suzy. I come from Susumana Drive, Chikota community. Actually, first of all, thank you very much for the show. Let me say this: the revolution was hijacked.
By who?
This is the group of which,
who hijacked the revolution?
They hijacked us.
It was hijacked by those who were not part of the process, but citizens.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the reason for which things are going the way it is going. But what is happening? It is really our ears that George Weah should be one-term president because they don't have the ability to repair those damages.
Thank you. Let's take another person here tonight on the program. We gave you the opportunity. Too many of your calls. Mind you, we have our next discussion. We'll go for it. Hello.
Good evening, Secretary.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, let me say good evening to Angela Patrick and that of owner Fagon. Hello. Well, I'm Emmanuel M. Tupac Jr. I joined this evening from my resident community. Well, listening to your analysis and to Fagon analysis, well, the rest of you, but then, we appreciate Fagon for staying in the CDC, but I don't know if Fagon has turned over to the ANC. He should be open and say that he's an ANC president and he support Mr. Cummings. Okay, so if you say CDC is a party that credit, they don't pay debt. Let's look at the issue of the Senator Johnson. Hello.
Go ahead, you live.
Okay. I thought you cut me off.
No,
now,
go ahead.
If you look at Senator Johnson, Senator Johnson ever wanted to be appointed in the CDC, they were appointed. His recent statement is just an hypocrisy in trying to show the people of Nima County. But then he has refused to pick up media call. We will appreciate that Senator Johnson will speak one-on-one with the press so that we can know how to respond to him. Because he has been grateful to the people of Nima County for 18 broken years. The people of Nima County, they elected Prince Johnson. Just imagine the kind of connection Senator Johnson has with President Weah. And even the former United Party. The only problem I see with President Weah is that he left those United Partisans in the government. He said he wanted government inclusion. These are the folks that have been causing serious problems in the CDC. For us, we didn't get jobs. We remain committed. We're going to re-elect President Weah because we know the second year will be better, and we are hoping for the better change. Thank you very much for affording me the time.
Thank you. We take another person here. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening, sir.
And good evening to Eugene Fagon and to my brother Fandela Patrick. This is DJ Lumet calling from Corwell, New Jersey.
Lumet, go ahead.
Let me say thank you for the program, Sekou. I like the formation of this topic of this show. Yesterday when I heard Honorable Fagon talking about it, and I decided to be part of it today, and I sat attentively and listening to you people, the both of you. You're coming out with something that Liberian people should know, that they open their ears and their eyes to see what is going on. But other people now are taking it because so CDC people then they're going against the party. And this is not against party. This is a nation that we all belong to. We should be deported from here. So when anything goes on wrong in this country, we all will feel it. That's why you can be my father or my mother. I voted for you or whatever. When you're not doing the right thing of the Liberian people, the work which you come on and tell you, say, Mama or Papa, you're not doing the right thing. Let's do the thing better than everyone always will celebrate and enjoy. Because today I will not get something from another party or Eugene Fagon doesn't have the money to go to school and they're sitting at my children going to school, they have here enjoying it and say, we're enjoying, it's not enjoying. Everyone all got to come together and critique the government together and make sure.
Okay, Lumas, thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. Let's take another person. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sekou.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Alvin Dambo and I'm joining a conversation for district number 16.
Go ahead.
CDC already lose political relevance. The ruling establishment that won 14 campaign in Governor of Liberia. They're going to convention. They are practicing. They are all aware. So that's the way they are planning to rig our election. But we tell them they will not do that kind of thing for our 2023 election. So thank you for the topic on the discussion, Sekou.
Thank you very much. What we're going to do is we're going to take, guys, if you guys agree, we're going to take maybe 1 or 2 calls so we can transition to our next, topic because we have something else to talk about. What do you guys make of it?
Well, let me say this. Liberians are good. When you come to tell them the truth, they will look for a way to run from the truth and probably make you to the one to answer. No, if I don't say Prince Johnson, I mean the CDC, the bad creditor, they can credit, they can't pay them. You credited from these people to say, when I get there, I will do this. It's 5 years now. Have you done it? You come here to say, even though some of you ain't get job, the next 6 years is not guaranteed, son. You probably need to play a tape for him. Because if he's waiting for the next 6 years to get job, then he should ask himself, what is he doing now to work in order to perpetuate himself, not perpetuate or retain the power that he has now? Because if you look at the power that he has now, it's slipping. You are telling me, oh, if you join ANC, you need to come up and tell. If I join ANC, that tomorrow morning I will wait to tell you, I will tell you very quick. It's because you know, the man that is down, fear no fall. The truth of the matter is, you don't even have a party. That's what you're talking. The document expires on the 2nd. Therefore, the coalition technically does not exist.
Sure.
Start looking for your new party. Secondly, the people that saw to sign the document, they are telling you they will not sign. And up to today the 22nd or 21st, no signature. 21st. So where are we? Then Prince Johnson tell you, say, the agreement he had with you has come to an end. So where are we? We finish. Why you don't let to hear the truth? The people that are in the government, they are seditions. You came to say the revolution was hijacked. You stay in the hands of the hijacker, then you want to criticize somebody. The hijackers are still on board. So they control the party. Vendela, over to you.
Well, for me, I'd like to read a statement from Senator Johnson. It says, special press statement to my fellow citizens of Nimba and supporters in Liberia and around the world. My fellow citizens, in November 2017, we signed an agreement with the Congress for Democratic Change to give the party our political support. In the agreement, we signed up for top ministerial posts, managing directors, and some ambassadorial positions to be given to Nimba, or President Weah should appoint sons and daughters from Nimba County to occupy these top positions through our recommendations. I hope you underscore the word recommendations. Since the CDC-led government came to power in 2018, we are yet to see sons and daughters from our beloved Nimba in those top senior positions we agree upon and signed and document as evidence. The citizens of Nimba have for the past 5 years been knocking at my door for the president to appoint them. And we have used all different means and have consistently engaged this CDC-led government. But nothing is working to get redress and make our people who struggle during the campaign period to be happy. Once again, my fellow citizens of Nimba and supporters in Liberia and around the world, we'd like to take this time to inform you that the agreement we signed with the CDC has come to an end.
Period.
So for and on behalf of the great people of Nimba and all partisans of MDR, Movement for Democracy and Reconciliation political party, we are now constrained to make this pronouncement that we are halting our political support to the coalition. As a former general in the army, we believe in agreement and don't like to betray what we have signed upon. So we ask you to remain kind until we can later inform you about where to go. God bless the people of Nimba and God bless Liberia.
We will tell them where to go. Let them be talking about hijacker.
Fendela.
Yeah.
I wanted to say
yeah, come in quickly before I talk.
Yes. honestly, you can say this, but Prince Johnson has been a very strong, you know, voice in Nimba. Unless this is what I want to say, and from his press release, he's been very personal in a sense. He says, "Manimba citizens." So it's a Prince Johnson. Even though we'll come to the collaboration thing, Prince Johnson is just the leader for just people from Nimba County, his political party, only the Nimba people, or is it a political party for the entire country where you have other tribes or other, citizens from other counties that are going to be part of it? But let me say this again before I go to you, Fendela. I'm not too sure Prince has that control he had before in Nimba County, to be honest. I'm not, if only you people can come in with your own thoughts, but I'm not too sure Prince Johnson has that. Why I say I'm saying it, Prince Johnson has been able to put hands up in Nimba and the people did not win elections. We need to get that. And the way we saw Prince Johnson, like the person from Nimba County, that when he says this, it is the final, it's not the way in Nimba. And when it comes to these kinds of political discussions or political engagements, I don't really see Prince Johnson as that reliable person. He doesn't say things because he's saying it because of the people he claims to represent. If Prince is being talked to today, everything he's saying is just something different. He goes for what benefits him as an individual, though. Because when did Prince get to know that most of these things were not done, or maybe these things that he did not go down well, when even though he himself recommended some people in this same very government? You can go ahead. I just wanted to read that.
Yeah, and I just want us to understand. I read a statement, beautiful statement, and I like to examine the context, the contents very carefully. Yes, the MDRA is right, because that is what they signed for. Like I said, how does the CDC get the support of PYJ and his political party? They have to pay damages. They say they sign up for top government positions, managerial positions, ambassadorial positions, and their sons and daughters from Nimba will be appointed based on recommendation by him. Now, for us to sit here and pretend that Prince Johnson is a nobody in Nimba, it's a lie. It's a complete lie. The perfection of PYJ continue to be relevant because of the poor performance of national government. Rather than thinking about improving the life of the people of Nimba, they pay loyalty to an individual who thinks he can manage the entire population of Nimba, and they should look up to him. As such, Prince Johnson becomes relevant. I agree he has held other people's hands, and they did not win. But that does not in any way negate the fact that he's a nobody. To neutralize the power of PYJ, you must take the government to the people so as they can have a second opinion. But here is a government, from the time they came to power, the entire opposition, or political parties that form the coalition for democratic change, they have been crying. Developments have not been reflected in the counties. Poverty continues to be on the faces of the people. Forget about those who sign for government jobs. The few ones that were appointed into government, they are also crying. The entire country, the civil servants, they are not even taking pay. So if the government is not improving the lives of its people, it technically increase the political relevance of PYJ. And he's very calculative in his game. Politics is an art of war. You develop strategy to neutralize your opponents. PYJ has been consistent in his game. During election, he has a message. And I can guarantee you, PYJ will not go to any political party that does not have the ability of winning. Very calculated. He knows how to calculate. As long as he's seeing the indicators, he knows the game. He's inclined, very smart. We can sit on this platform, we rebuke him, but he knows the game. He knows the message he gives to his people. Will the people of Nima always fall for that? I say no. But vast majority of the people will listen to him. If Prince Johnson is on the ballot, it's a different thing. So the first round of the election is going to be on the ballot. I have not heard anybody that is going to challenge him. I have not seen anybody in Nima whose name is up that he will be competing or she will be competing against PYJ. I have not heard that name yet. But if Prince Johnson succeeds in 2023 election, he wins his senatorial bid. It increases his political relevance. All those that voted for him is going to automatically position them in a way where they will make a decision for who becomes president of Liberia come 2023. Like I said, his press statement is divisive. MDRO does not represent the people of Nima. To even suggest in our statement that the CDC failed to give position to sons and daughters of Nima, of course, everybody in the 15 political subdivisions of our country, they are entitled to political appointments. They are qualified men and women in Nima, and they deserve to be appointed in government. But where I disagree to the recommendation of PYJ, because his political party is the one that supported George Weah. I don't think it should go that way. It brings discrimination, because as long as you do not align with a political institution, you are not going to get recommended for government job. It's good to speak on behalf of the people of Nimba. I have had a time, to follow the political history of the great people of Nimba. But appointments in this direction, especially where it is not reflected collectively, where one person will say, you know what, as long as you disagree with PYJ, you are not going to get recommended to George Weah for appointment. We have to make that very clear. So when you're speaking that the people of Nimba and at the same time MDR, then we are talking about two things. I think it would be good for us to build a political institution of national unity. Since you are a big son of Nimba and you went into the coalition, and it's the only political party from Nimba, I stand to be corrected. I think MDR is the only political party that has, standard bearer from Nimba. I don't see any other political party that has a standard bearer from Nimba. He's the only person. So as such,
what about Taon Gonglo?
It's not yet. He's not yet certified. I think discussions are still ongoing. Discussions that I'm talking about. Only a political party giving birth to a political party and resident in Nimba country. That's what I'm saying. So in this process, it's important to emphasize a few things. 2023 is going to be rocky. The 2023 elections, as we have seen, it's going to be difficult. Not just for the CDC, but independent candidates or political institutions. This press statement could also mean that it is a way of exonerating himself because he has been accused by the United States of selling votes, rally the votes of the people and sell it to opposition or who is capable of winning election. He collects it and the people go and vote. He has been accused by the US government. So disassociating himself with the CDC could mean that he's trying to, untie the loosened rope that has been put around his waist by the United States government and other international partners. It is also possible that he does not want to be seen as a complete deviant towards what the United States government has said about the CDC, that the CDC government is not performing to expectation and that corruption is entrenched. So disassociating himself with that particular regime and trying to form an alliance with what the United States, quote unquote, thinks is the best option could give him a better opportunity to have a briefing air. So in as much as it's legally prudent to issue such a statement that the coalition did not respect the contract or the agreement, we can also say that this is politically motivated as a way of cementing a relationship with the United States in the direction that they want to see the Liberian presidency going. I think these are my thoughts.
Okay. Eugene, let's hear you on this issue.
Here's my thought. Very simple, precise, concise. And it rests on the fact that Prince Johnson cannot be automatically dismissed. But once you understand that Prince Johnson does have political capital in Nimba, no matter what he does, he commands a lot of respect because of what he has done for his people and continues to do for the people of Nimba County as a senator. Having said that, my dear brother, if you look at Prince Johnson's statement, it's clear to say, I wash my hands. Because in this day and time, I can tell you, Prince Johnson will not decide the presidency for the people of Nimba. He will be a contributing factor, but he will not decide. The people of Nimba buying rice that they were not supposed to buy for 16, they end up buying it for 30. Gas that we did not want them to buy for 350, they end up paying 520. Salaries we said they were not going to make, that Sekou is coming to right now, they end up making it. Money disappeared. Food hard to find. You read the preamble. You read the agreement. You read the reason why the CDC came. So you think the ordinary person from Nimba don't know that he feeling or she feeling pain? So I think what's going to happen here is PYJ is paving the way for a smooth exit because the CDC, in Makende's opinion, have not lived up to the agreement with him and the purpose for which they came. Those are two things. And he don't want to be aligned with him, with the CDC, because he's seeking re-election. And that's where I will start. He does not want to tie himself with that group.
Okay. Even though we're going to start this, I wish we don't have enough time, but then maybe we'll end it on tomorrow because we also need to have, the calls, those of the people listening, to participate. But let's move on to this issue where our next topic that has to do with, salaries, government employees being paid certain amount. Fakon, you can start that issue with us so that we can.
Well, you see, I told someone, and I wrote on my page, I had been blowing the trumpet, and I said, listen, there are people in government making as low as $45 a month. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, oh, that's not true. It can never be. I said it is true. Because I was the person who made the announcement that nobody in government will make less than $100. And to my surprise, I started doing my own investigation, only to find out that there were lots of people making 65, 75, 90, as low as 45. Can you imagine that? And when I blew the trumpet, those who say it was a lie, the Ministry of Information came out. And when the journalists went there, they find exactly what I was saying. But that is one government ministry. People call from Internal Affairs all over the place. And today, when you open the phone lines, they're not forced to call their names. They can just tell you. And let's send the team out on the field and see what will happen in Liberia. It is shameful that people are making less than 25 cents an hour in the country where we said 500 million was not enough, and that the bulk of the 500 million was going to wages, only to come and increase the budget to 780 something million, almost 800, while cutting the people pay by 50%. So here is the thing. You cut somebody's salary by 50% in something called harmonization. You raise the budget to almost 800 million by increasing taxes on the very people whose money you cut. And you think people will be stupid? They're not stupid. They got sense. When you cut my money, you cut taxes. When you increase my money, you increase taxes. But you can't cut my money and you increase taxes. How does that work? And so a lot of people will tell you what they're making. And it's shameful, it's distasteful, and it's disastrous.
So, you want to come in, Fendela, to say something? Then let me just read the portion of the law.
And so the point here is when people work and they can't get paid, let's forget about the low salary they are making.
No, that's the main thing, Fendela.
That's the main thing, because
the low salary, Fendela, I know what you're saying, but can you imagine where you can't get paid? Then the pay is supposed to get. It's not what the government said they would pay you. It's even lower. $45 a month.
So let me just give you my analysis about what is going to affect. I think CDC has created its own opposition. Those people who have not been paid for almost 6 months, and those who are taking salaries below what they expect, they are not going to vote this government. This is not an opposition extended strategy. And one thing people might think that it is a small size of people. The civil service is very powerful. Everyone that works in government, they have connections. In fact,
they got almost 5 months them to feed. 5.
They are the carriers of strategic messages. If civil servants say they don't want you, they are the most powerful and strategic groups of people you can ever imagine about. They are now working for good pay. Even if they take pay, the money doesn't come on time. If it comes on time, it's very small. And sometimes if it doesn't come very small, it means 4-5 months, they will not take pay. We need to understand a few things. Government has always disrespected the rights of people who gave them services, rental services. I was shocked when I saw people at the Ministry of Information, where Eugene Facon used to work. Every day they go there and tell the people everything is fine. But right in their backyard, the people came out and say, we are suffering. So that platform that is used to propagate the message of the government was desecrated. We are going to elections. And these kinds of outcry from the public, parents are crying. They cannot take pay. The money is small. Prices on the market are skyrocketing. Children cannot go to school because schools have increased their tuition. Transportation fares are. In the midst of these competing challenges, how does the government intend to reconcile with the people? You have opposition political parties to pay damages to. You have the civil servants to settle. You have the issue of your political party. Membership of the political party, they're planning to take you to court for violating the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
It is clear, gentlemen, to state clearly that the CDC has crumbled. This is not a political prophecy, but these are the facts. A few years ago, people make recommendations. They made recommendations to the CDC to clean its house. Even if opposition or people from outside will not vote for you, the little ones that you have incorporated into government, give them what they deserve. The failure of the government to give these people their just benefits or salaries, or to pay them for services that commensurate with their professional backgrounds or academic qualifications. Failure of the government to pay them these kinds of salaries that commensurate with what they have done in the past in terms of work experience and academic professional experience. The government is not going to get these people. You know what? Even 2019, during the by-election in Masorado, that was one of the reasons why the CDC lost Masorado. 2020, these people repeated. The civil servants are strategic groups of people. They have the power to undermine the government. But what they say, because they are within, and every time they speak, people listen to them. As we move forward towards the election, what are the plans of the CDC? Because right now, it's not just about holding your convention. It's not about reuniting opposition political parties to re-sign to your agreement that you signed in 2017. It's about perfecting yourself so that you can reconcile the political reconciliation with the civil servants, those who work for government. How is the government intending to engage these people? Is the government going to pay them to clear the debts? Even if the debts are cleared, the people are not still going to trust you. That you are only clearing the debts because you want to get our votes.
Okay,
political parties are complaining.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where the CDC is standing, but I think it is safe to say the CDC is chronically entangled. They only take a real political scientist.
Before Vandela, before we go to the lines, because we want to take a few calls about this, let me just read out this so that the people that are listening to tell you how it has been, the very law that is to be respected has been violated. Now, Section 16.1 of the Decent Work Act that talked about entitlement to minimum wages. 16.1A, they said every formal sector, concession, industry, business, company, etc., worker employees is entitled to be paid a minimum wage of United States dollar, that's 68 cents per hour, or United States $5.50 per day for work that employee is employed to perform. Every domestic and or casual worker employee is entitled to be paid a minimum wage of United States dollar 43 cents per hour, or United States dollar $3.50 per day. So just short before we go to the lines, if you do your calculation, even if you need the minimum wage, you should not make below $50 or maybe $75, no matter how it is, you know. So, but let's go to the lines. Those of you listening, even though we don't have enough time, for those of you listening to us, you're working with government ministries and agencies, you just call, and don't call your name. Just call the institution and tell us how much you are earning every month. If you are earning more than, 150, 200, just let us know. Don't call your name, for your own protection, for job security, right? Because this is a series we're going to run.
Yeah, we're looking for people under 150 because that would be a violation of the law.
Yeah, under 150. If you're making below 150, just call. Don't call your name. Because we don't have time. We just want to take few calls. Don't call your name. Just call and tell us. Call us on 0770 907
tomorrow.
No, they're not calling their names. Don't call your names. Just call the institution and tell us how much you are earning at the end of the month. Don't call your name, please. 0770 907 907. Hello?
Yeah, I just want to be brief. I work with CBR, community-based initiative. We have project in Liberia for Bill Gates. But tomorrow, our money, our 2 months salary.
How much you earning?
We haven't get our 2 months salary over three months now. We can't compete to the Ministry of Labor. They don't do nothing about it.
How much you earning, my brother?
Our salary and our
benefit. How much you earning?
Okay, how much you making every month? Okay, let's take another person. Hello?
You want the man to follow you tonight?
Hello? Good evening. Okay, let's take another person. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Good evening. Don't call your name, please.
Okay.
Where are you working?
I'm working with the Ministry of Gender.
Okay, how much you earning? How much you can make every month?
I make it I make $140 with $7,000 Liberian dollars.
You used to make it before?
No, that's what I'm making now. Before during the any administration, I used to go and receive $260 LD and receive 12,000 Liberian dollars.
Okay, 260 USD, not LDO.
No, US.
But now how much you receiving?
140, so now 145, so now 160.
Okay, it's not stable, right?
No.
Salary, okay, let's take another thing. You can't get.
I told you we will have to continue the topic tomorrow. I told you.
We'll continue this tomorrow. Hello.
I'm show tonight. Really enjoying what I really got the topic on board tonight.
Okay, where you working?
Yeah. I work. I got it. Fashion. But I work with some Indian guys.
No, we're talking about government people. Take another person.
Government people.
No, we said government institutions. Hello.
Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism.
How much you making?
$60, 60 USD.
You said how much?
60 USD, 2,000 LD.
Hey, okay.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Let's take another person. Hello.
And then tomorrow, you will hear plenty.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead.
What was you? JFK?
JFK, yes. Go ahead. How much you earning?
$137.
$137.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, you're a medical, meaning you're a skilled person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jesus.
You've been underpaid. Take another person. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Then are you shocked? You ain't even see nothing.
Hello.
You see nothing.
Good evening.
John Peter.
Which is no, don't call your name, my man. I don't want you to put the same problem. Don't talk again. Just leave it. You still want to talk? No, for your own protection, we want you to talk before they can. Don't call your name. Hello? Yeah, hello?
Yeah, at the first quarter, I'm making $85.
Where? Who is on the institution?
Community-based initiative. We have a project in Liberia for Bill Gates. Now you're Bill Gates said, I only Liberia. The people here our money, our benefit. We supposed to get scratch our transportation.
Who it is? Who are even a? Okay, take another person. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I work with Liberia National Police.
LNP.
LNP, yeah.
How much you earning?
$70.
$70?
Yeah, $70 with 1,000 sharing.
Well, they got different positions in the police. Are you a skilled police or skilled police?
No, but the thing is, no government employee, according to the law, should make less than 150. No government employee.
No, the reason why I'm asking Facon to tell you how worst it is to even pay skilled people, because the law says unskilled people should get a certain amount of money, and the skilled people should get. So to tell you that even the skilled people are not even getting the unskilled money.
You don't see nothing here. Continue the line.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I work at the Ministry of Health for $5 US with 2,500 LDA per month.
You said how much?
$45 US.
$75.
45 USD.
45 US?
Yeah, $45 plus 2,500 LD.
What kind of way you doing that to JFK?
No, the Ministry of Health.
Okay, what kind of way you doing the Ministry of Health?
I'm nurse. Yeah.
$45?
45 USD.
Well, yeah, I wonder.
This is not a joke. This run across the entire country. This is not a joke.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chico. Good evening to Voice of Liberia.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Muhammad, and I just want to give my opinion. To the issue of Section 16 of the Decent Work Act that you quoted, the reason for which the government
Where you working?
No, I just want to give my opinion.
I beg you, please, brother. Let's take people that are working. No time. I beg you, please. Hello? Yes?
Yeah, there's fully corner from Douala.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not discussing about the salary issue. I'm discussing media concerning two topics on this today.
No, we're talking salary, Benny here. The people that are working, I didn't want I will beg you. Hello?
Hey, hello?
The news people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Where?
Come on, I follow money because I ain't happy.
Go ahead.
Money Comfort Smith, MCSS, caretaker, making $65 with 1,700, with 1,200 or 1,700. Something like it can be there. The money not set. Everything is talking money, the content, the money, what they saying, they put it.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we're going to have a long discussion on this thing. Hello? Hello? Let me take another. No time, gentlemen. We need to go. Hold the calls. Let me take the last person. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Go ahead quick, please.
MOE, Ministry of Education. Principal.
How much?
I'm a principal. 85 USD with 3,000.
Wow.
It's shocking.
I told you.
Hey, no, listen.
I told you.
Tomorrow is our major.
If you try it, the people are willing to bring their paycheck, their stop, their tenant to you and show it to you.
It's what we're going to do. It's what we're going to do tomorrow.
It is disturbing over the whole country. It is
Wow.
very disturbing.
So technically, how do you expect these people to go cast vote for cities? Just imagine.
No, despite, let's leave votes business, right? A principal for a school is telling you that he's making $85. A principal.
Yes.
You expect this man to regulate the system of a school to give a good result in terms of what the students will learn. Because if the principal is being paid well, he will supervise the teachers to do what they should do. But if this man is not paid well, you know what you're doing for this man? You're encouraging him to find another job that could pay him better than what he has. Did you listen to that principal? Did you listen to the other lady that said she makes $55? For MCSS, it's all about education. You listen to the oh my gosh. Gentlemen, we need to wrap up. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very good discussion here on this issue. It is our major discussion tomorrow. It's so interesting. Let's wrap up, gentlemen. Let's start with Fendela. Go to Falcon.
Well, Sekua is a very good time to speak to our people in Liberia and those in Radio Land, wherever this station has reached. The purpose of coming on this kind of platform is to speak on some of those things that affect our people. I know there are a lot of people who are listening to us tonight. Some of them are feeling terribly bad, listening to the situation these people are going through. So, as you said, tomorrow we'll continue to talk, but I wanted to do statistics so you will know exactly that these people are just not working. Because if you are making $60,
the news is up next. I'll beg you, please.
So I want to say thank you for this platform, and then we'll be here again tomorrow. Thank you, brother.
Okay, Falcon, let's wrap up, please. You can see the news guys are coming. Yes, go ahead.
Well, thank you, and let me make an appeal to this program for an all-out tomorrow, at least an hour.
Yes.
From around the country.
Mm-hmm.
If the people in Monrovia are telling you they're making $85, think about the people in the county.
Sure.
Some of them, they barely have anything. And I hope that we can serve the people justice by, again, letting them have a copy of the law in their heads and know that their rights in the country are being violated. That the law said they should make $5 a day or 65 cents an hour.
Sure.
They can calculate and know that they are being underpaid. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Tomorrow we're going to be back here. The team, Eugene, Falcon, Fendela, Patrick, Sekou Sharif, we're going to be back here tomorrow on the program Issues of Today. Up next is the news. You've been listening to Voice of Liberia.
Fendela, Patrick, and Eugene Falcon.
Our issue, Liberia,
Issues of
touching the issue.